Oh, Jesus. Hello, everybody, everyone's. Let me get this together. I'm getting this together. Just got to do one thing here. Hmm. How is this? How am I doing this? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. This is Hi. Just need you to do one thing real quick. And I am going to get started here. Okay. Hello. Today I am going to talk about interracial relationships from a couple of different perspectives. I basically just want to open up the floor to find out what you think about it. And hold on here. Trying to get my little stuff here together. It's not working for me. Why not working? I'm just trying to get. Here we go. Bear with me. Here we go. This is what I want right here. I'm going to save it. I'm coming. You would have thought I'd be ready. I was so busy today. I got 11 projects going on. And that's why you see me looking like I'm looking. Okay. Hold on here. And the background. Okay. You want desktop. Date modified. Okay, well, you know what? Kim ain't gonna worry about this part then. I was trying to get my picture up, but it is not ready to, it is not doing me right. Okay. So we're not even gonna worry about it. Anyway, today I'm talking about interracial relationships. And this topic, in all actuality, today is going to be one of a general topic. I did put, let me see if it is still there. I did put the link. Yes, I did put the link in the comment section. So if anybody wants to come up and talk about it, I'm not going to be on here long today. I've got about 11 projects that I am getting into today. Okay. So what I wanted to talk about is interracial relationship dating. How do you feel about interracial relationship dating? Are you open to interracial relationship dating? What is the difference between when a black man is dating a white woman or a black woman is dating a white man? And our society, this is 2024. Are we different than it was back in the 1950s and the 1960s? I think so. Because for one, we're more of a global, we have more of a global platform now, as once before it was just local. So let's get into that a little bit more. What I'm going to do right now is hop on here and put in my intro, and then we'll hop on into it, okay? And we'll get to, if you have any comments on it, please share. I want to hear everybody's. Hello, my fabulous viewers. Welcome to Kim Delivers, the ultimate destination for commentary enthusiasts. I am Kimberly, your guide on this exciting journey, delivering you entertaining and informative content. Whether you're here for a dose of laughter, inspiring tips, or just good vibes, you've landed in the right spot. Hit that subscribe button and join our family. So buckle up and let's dive into the world of Kim Delivers together. I love my own videos. Okay, so let's talk about it. So for me, I'm a single woman, okay? I'm a single woman at a particular age, alrighty? I have no problem with interracial dating, all right? Never had. So let's go all the way back for me. For one, as a Black person, as an American Black person, our lineage and our heritage has been diluted, okay? Because by way of how we came here, a lot of us are mixed, and if we do our 21 and me or 23 and me, we'll see that. For me, my own self, my great granddaddy fell in love with one of the slaves on his plantation. We have a plantation down in I think it's South Carolina. Is it South Carolina? It's the Corley Mills plantation, because it was a mill. Anyway, he fell in love with one of the slaves down there, right? And his daddy told him that, look, boy, we don't do that around here. Now, you know, there's plenty of white girls for you to be able to date, and you could date one of them white girls. You're not going to sit up here and throw everything around and throw everything away that, you know, we have built up. You know, you're embarrassing the family and you're tainting the blood, you know, because keeping the race pure was really important. Well, he threatened his son off different kind of ways from Sunday, and he tried and tried to follow what his dad was telling him, but he would sneak back. Something about that woman, okay? Something about that woman. He would sneak over there. So his father got tired of him, so he sent the son back. I mean, excuse me, sent the woman back. My great grandmother. It was either the third grade or the fourth great grandmother. But anyway, he sent her away. Sent her away to, I think it was Kentucky. All righty, which really wasn't that far per se, but it was far enough, right? It was far enough because they only had a horse then. So anyway, the son was so forlorn, but the father thought that he had did the best thing for his son. So then he told his son, let her be, because I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you the plantation. All of this is yours, so you can take this and whatever, and you good. The son tried to work it, and it was something about that woman he couldn't. And he hopped on a horse and he rode down there and got his woman. And I think they ended up settling into Tennessee or something like that. And then they ended up coming back to South Carolina. So although it really wasn't legal back then, it was different when because whites actually were at that point in time the rulers of the society that we lived in. You know, it really wasn't it was frowned upon, don't get me wrong, but you know, nobody wasn't messing with him and trying to tar and feather him and hang him from a tree so he could be strange fruit, you know. So he just had to deal with a lot of stares and things like that, and of course what they call bringing shame onto the family's name. Now for me, I had dated that white guy and everything back in my young days. Nice guy too. Nice guy. Oh my goodness. And I probably, if I had not have been so concerned about what society said and what, you know, I probably would have married that dude because he was a really good dude. But I was young. He was, we did a fashion show at this Catholic school that a friend of mine graduated from. And and he was one of the religion teachers there. I think I was 19 and maybe he was 27 at the time, and I really liked him, and he really liked me. Well, of course, because what's not to like? But anyway, one day my daddy had taken me into the car, and for a ride, he told me, "Come on, Kimberly, we're gonna go for a ride." And I was like, "Okay, Daddy, where we going?" He said, "Oh, don't worry about that. You just get in this car." So I did. I got in the car, and then my father, as we were riding, he was like, "Kimberly, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Okay, I'm gonna tell you something right now." He says, "When it comes down to relationships, birds fly with birds, cats running with cats, dogs." Or I said, "Daddy, where is this going to? That where is this going to?" So he was like, "I don't want to see you dating that white boy. That ain't who you supposed to be dating," and blah 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 blah. So anyway, I told Daddy, I said, "Daddy, you can't tell me who to date. I'm gonna date who I want to date." Fast forward, we get home after that ride, and so I went in and I told my mama. Little did I know that this evidently had been a conversation between my mother and my father, right? So, but my father hadn't said anything to me, of course, right? So, I said, "Well, Dad told me that I can't date a white dude." And she said to my father, she was like, "Okay, give me a break. All right." She said, "I know good and damn well, Matthew, me and you don't talk to about this, Oliver." She said that you didn't talk to my daughter about anything like this, right? She said, "Because that don't make no sense. We don't already, I told you, leave that girl alone." He said, "Well, they only want one thing." She said, "What the hell is the one thing they want?" Oliver, she said, "It is no more than they want than what you wanted with me." She said, "So if you're trying to say that they want the PUSSSY," she said, "it ain't no different than any black man and ain't no different than what you wanted me for. Leave the girl alone and let her make her own decisions." Well, it was back in the early 80s. And even though you would think that it was acceptable, it really wasn't. We would go places and people would be like, "Kim, what are you doing with that white dude?" or whatever, Or we would go places and go out to dinner, and we would be stared at. It just made me so uncomfortable. I couldn't deal with it. And I didn't know what to say. So I just kind of, because I was immature at the time, I just kind of, gave him the cold shoulder and the guide off. But there's, so many different ways in which people look at these relationships. And what I want to do at this point in time is to show you a little video and show you how it's looked at. Okay. So let's see. Let's get it started here. All righty. Let me find this video. But yeah, you know, when it comes down to it, we got to be a little bit more open minded. Okay, here we go.
Of your race. How many of you would be willing to date outside of your race? How many of you are not willing to date outside of your race? Okay. All right. Well, Serena Williams, Eve, Rihanna have all found love across the racial divide. More and more black women, of course, seem to be willing to follow in their footsteps. Wendy Harlow, should black women date outside the race?
Black women and all women should date whoever they want to date. Okay. I was raised in a home by a single black woman. My mom and my father, my whole life, have had an amazing relationship. They raised me separately, but cordially. In this time of my mom being single, I've obviously met a lot of her boyfriends, and they were multiracial. She dated black guys, she dated white guys. So I think for me, it was something that I was taught that, I mean, all people are equal and everyone deserves love. I've personally dated outside of my race. I've dated black guys, I've dated white guys. And I don't think those aspects of them altered what went right or wrong in our relationships. I think whatever our disputes were happened to do with the type of person that I am and the type of person that he was as a person, not as a race.
Was it easier or harder dating interracially or not?
No, because I think everything is an education. I think, you know, the main thing is hair. I think, first of all, Black men have a problem with learning these things as well. You know, like, you have to learn that, yeah, I have a beautiful wig on right now, but you're gonna wake up with me with a bonnet, right? So, yeah, I mean, I think all these things are just an educational thing, whether it be race, whether it be men versus women, whether it be whatever it is, all these things just have to do with education.
Angelica, how do you think about interracial dating?
I agree that it's about the education, because I actually was engaged to be married to a white man, to an Italian man, and we were together for 8 years. And I have not been in a relationship since. I don't know if I would actually date outside my race again. There is only really one time that I'm against interracial dating, and that is when you're not allowed to bring your full self to the relationship. Because I was in the relationship where I did not challenge my white partner on his anti-Blackness.
Mm.
And instead, I internalized the way he looked at the Black community too. And so we both were in our gated community house thinking, this is what, you know, needs to happen and blah, blah, blah. When I realized that this man was not invested in the liberation of my community, nor my Black community, nor my LGBT community, but that I was passing. So that means that I'm either going to be with a Black man who also has been educated about his anti-Blackness and about his misogyny and all those things, or I'm going to be with someone who's not Black, who understands that, or I'm going to be by my damn self.
Now, April, I know you are happily married, but how do you think about interracial dating?
I agree with Winnie. I believe that you should date who feeds your soul. But who feeds my soul is a Black man. And I'm going to tell you why. I feel like when I think about the trauma that Black men have gone through, along with the trauma that a Black woman has gone through, we're able to heal each other because we know each other's pain. We know our ancestors' pain. Black men need a Black woman, and Black women need a Black man to help us be better. And because we know each other, we need each other to heal those wounds that were never really treated.
Okay. All righty. So that was very interesting. A couple of different things. You do have some people and everything. Like, I had this guy that I worked with, and he had a Black wife. He was a white guy. Okay. And I could tell that he was racist, you know, and somebody told me, he says, no, he's married to a Black woman. Well, she might as well have been white anyway. But anyway, you know, I said, just because you screw Black don't mean that you love Black. Okay, because that's not the case. That is not the case. But I'm going to say this. I love my Black men, but I'm at a certain age and it's getting more and more difficult here. And I'm going to tell you something. I was cute pie coming up, and I ain't trying to say nothing, but, you know, I can rebel back in them days and say that I was, okay? But ain't nobody knocking down my door like they once was, okay? So at this age and stage, you have to open up you have to open up. And you have to open up, you know, not only your thought process, but your heart, and, you know, embrace other people. At this age, I'm intuitive enough and emotionally mature enough to be able to ask the questions that I need to ask to determine where we are aligned. Like that second lady who said that she realized that her husband wasn't into, you know, her into her culture, into her race, and that was causing a problem. He wasn't looking at the same struggle that her people had that he was, you know. So it sounds like he didn't like Blacks at all. Okay. The other sister says that, you know, our Black men, we can heal each other, which is true to a certain extent. Now, I'm not getting ready to try to bash Black men. I'm not. Okay. I am really not. But this is what I'm going to say out here, because I've been dating long enough and everything. But, you know, the treatment nowadays of us It's not like, to me, at least most that I haven't come from, I've encountered that, there's a lot of uplifting of the Black woman and her sister nowadays. Okay. So it's almost like you got to work. It's almost like, to me, that the roles have reversed. All right. So I'm looking for someone to appreciate and love me for the woman that I am. And not only the woman that I am, but to treat me and to put me on that pedestal. So whoever that is, no matter what color they are, I'm beyond that. Because I'm beyond that for more reasons than one. You can't look at anybody I've ever dated and see a pattern, right? So, I've always looked at what's on the inside. So that's what I'm looking at on the inside now. It's about your soul. It's whether or not our souls align and whether or not we see each other. The other thing, though, is that I was asked a question, because I just want to talk about Black men dating white women and white men dating Black women. Somebody asked me, why is there a difference? Well, there's a difference historically for a couple of different reasons, okay? First of all, back in going way back now, so we're going back into the 50s, the 60s, maybe even as early as the 40s, okay? First of all, it was considered illegal, first of all. So you had to, so it was almost like the forbidden fruit, all right? The other thing is that our beauty wasn't celebrated back then. The only thing, you didn't see any ads, any advertising, anything about Black people or at all. Okay. Not only that, we were supposed to be seen, if we were seen, and certainly not heard, because everything back then was blacks to the back of the bus. Blacks can't use the pool. Blacks can't use the fountain. Blacks got to use the back entrance. So everything was for us not to be seen. So if that's the case, we were never seen. Our beauty was never, ever appreciated. So also, because the only thing you saw was the white image of beauty, I believe, this is my, and if anybody in the chat wants to challenge this or has a different opinion, please put it on there. I put the link in there. If you want to come up and talk about it, you can give your own opinion. But I believe that the Black men felt that this was a couple of things. Okay. First of all, it was the forbidden fruit. All right. It was the forbidden fruit. White men had a taste of Black women, whether it was through our consent or not, if you know what I'm trying to say. But I believe that the Black men thought that it was a forbidden fruit. The other thing is that they wanted to lighten the race, okay? Because the darker you were, the worse you were treated. Hence goes that thing that the darker slaves were in the field and the lighter ones were in the house. So they wanted not only to be able to have more freedoms based on what the skin color of their children were, they wanted, just like every other parent wants, they want the best for the kids. And unfortunately, this was the case. So if I married white, or even if I married, they call them red bones. We call them red bones, but it was another thing they would call them. But let's just say they were mulatto or something like that. If they married a mulatto woman, their kids would be lighter, and then they would get better preferential treatment, and like imitation of life, they might even pass. Okay. The other thing too is that their idea of success and getting what they felt that was unattainable, attaining what was unattainable, would be a white woman. Even though they had a rough way of going at it, that's what happened. Now, the reason why Black women or people, especially Black women, let's just go say Black women, may frown upon that or have issues with a Black man dating a white woman, because back then in them days, women couldn't work. Maybe they would clean the houses or something like that, but they weren't the providers. They weren't making the lion's share. So a woman really wasn't anything unless she had a husband, because the husband was taking care of the household. So if you're marrying a white woman, what's happening to the Black women out here? We can't get what we need. So that was one of the reasons why people were looking down on Black men getting with white women, because it was affecting our socioeconomic status, okay, if we weren't wanted. Now, then you have some blacks, and that wasn't all black men. I'm just saying that's where some of the stigmatism came from, looking down on black men with white women. Now, because of the standards of beauty that they had back then, and that we really weren't loving ourselves, okay? That's just almost like people trying to don't have a penny in their pocket, but they wearing all designer clothes for somebody else to look at them and think they're special. It's the same thing. You know, you can make that same philosophy. You can apply that same philosophy back then. So because you feel like you're less than because society sees you that, because black wasn't celebrated at the time, not that it is now, then that's why you were choosing to marry that. Then the ultimate is that some men, okay, so the Brian McKnights of the world, the Wesley Snipes of the world, the OJs of the world, just to name a few, they felt like white was right. Okay, so that's how they felt about it, right? So with that said, that added an extra layer to it. Now, as time goes on, though, you're seeing that change, that you're seeing a shift. Okay, so there's a lot of both on both sides. There's been a study, and they say that most millionaire and billionaires now are seeking black women. Okay, they state that for the lives that they live, that's the kind of woman that they need. Now, I can't go into all of it because I don't remember. I should have pinned that article so that I could see. But I think that nowadays, and especially with our kids nowadays and things of that sort, we live in a more global society. So you don't, those old things and those old stigmatisms, you don't see that any longer. You really don't. Now, you will still see where, brothers will want to know, well, why are you, going and, talking to this person or that person? That don't make any sense. You need to be with a brother. Okay. Because everybody wants, not everybody, there is an undertone of not polluting the races. Okay. So everybody wants to keep the races pure. All right. The whites wanted to keep the races pure, and the blacks wanted to keep the races pure, and so to speak. So there was a one drop law. If you had one drop of black in you, that meant you were black. And so that really affected the white people in particular, because they wanted a pure race. And the reason why they wanted a pure race was for more than one reason. Because they knew that they had dominated society, they had complete and total power, and they didn't want that diluted, and they didn't want it undermined. And that is part and parcel why I believe, this is just only my opinion, why they're trying to overturn Roe versus Wade. Because there was a book called The Browning of America, and they don't want that to occur. So since a lot of people nowadays too, in this newer society where we are now, a lot of people are choosing not to have kids. So if that's the case, they're not populating. So that decreases the race. And then in addition to that, if they're choosing to marry outside of their race, because nowadays when I say it's global, it's global. So it's not just sorry. It's not just because because of the blacks per se, because you have people now with Asians, you have them with Africans, you have them with Germans. It doesn't matter, okay? Mexicans, people are really going now. Hell, you got the LGBTQIA, whatever it is, okay? All of the alphabets, all right? People are now just going where love is, all right? Because at the end of the day, that's what rules the world, right? Love, all right? So that's all we all want. So as it relates to interracial relationships, I feel like those women that we just saw, they all had their own particular point of view on that. And I agree with every last one of them. Okay. I don't disagree. I think what it comes down to and what it boils down to with interracial relationship is what you feel your soul needs or how you need to be able to live. For me, myself, just speaking only for Kim, I'm going to go with who resonates with me and who I resonate with. And that's what's most important. Because at the end of the day, and at the beginning of any day, you got to live with yourself and you got to be happy. You got to be happy with where you are and what you have. So I think this pretty much sums it up. Again, like I said, I wasn't going to be too long on here today. But anybody that has any questions, not any questions, any comments on them, please put the comments in, put the comments down, and I'll go back and later and see what I can see on those and answer them accordingly. But I've got a couple of projects to do in the midst of it. I got a truck full of dirt, pebbles, sand, bricks. What else I got in there? Oh, and other dirt. Because I'm doing work outside, that's why I look crazy today, but that's okay. I am glad that you joined me today. You can, if you haven't, please click like. Please share this video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And know that I am glad that you guys came here and sat with me for a minute and talked about this issue. It's a lot of different things that when it comes down to caring and loving and relationships that we need to be able to explore. But one thing for sure is that a lot of people who said that they're in interracial relationships and they talk about how they were treated. This is what I say. Worry about what happens between you two. That's it. Okay. If that's who you love and that's who you care about, then that's what you worry about. Don't worry about what society says, because they're not going to be at home with you when you're lonely at night. If that's what you want, then you go for it. You have to tune out the world, because one thing about it is that somebody's going to have something to say about everything, anytime, anywhere. Just like if you notice that, I'll give you an example. So if most of us on social media, you make a post, you're going to have some people that agree with it, some people that don't. I told somebody, no, I didn't tell somebody. One time I just made a post. Shirley's a good movie. Talking about the Shirley Chisholm movie. You should watch it. Oh my God. I don't feel like watching any political movie. I'm not in the mood for that. And then somebody said, well, what channel is it on? And then I said, oh, it's on Netflix. Why do people think everybody got Netflix and can pay for it? I'm just saying, people are going to say whatever they want to say anyway. But at the end of the day, you got to be like Michael Jackson. You got to look at the man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror. You got to be happy with what you do, okay, and how you feel. And if you find somebody that resonates with your spirit and your soul, it don't matter what it's from. Just like when my daddy told me that Kim, birds run with flock with birds, cats run with cats, dogs run with dogs, all the rest of that. Even though I was 19 years old, okay, I was just like, Matter of fact, my sister married a white guy, right? Great guy too, really great guy. But I teased my daddy. Now she was old. I mean, old when she got married. But I asked him, I said, well, did you tell Nikki about that? Did you give her that speech? And he said, no, he didn't. So that was a chuckle. He said, Kimberly, I didn't. But anyway, so I'm just saying to you, whatever makes your heart sing, that's what you do. And you close the rest of the world out. You be oblivious to what's happening to the world. Everyone have a good night. This is the end of the Kim Delivers show. Again, click like and share. And until next time, thank you for watching Kim Delivers. I'm so glad you came. Be sure to click that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. This way you never miss out on any of our content. Also, any show ideas, topics, perhaps you may have a product or a business that you would like to share. This is an open and a welcoming platform for all. Send me an email. It's in my description. Well, again, thank you for watching. And until the next time, take care, be safe, and be kind. Toodles.